be the best year to get one. A new report from the Conference Board shows that companies are setting aside an average of 3.9% of their total payroll and putting it toward employee wage increases. Here to tell us how to maximize your own value, Credible.com personal finance expert Dan Ricardo. A reminder that Fox is the parent company of Credible.com. Good to see you, Dan. Tell me all about it.
Hey, good to be back. Thanks. This is pretty remarkable, right? So for the first time in a long while, you and I, the average worker, we have the upper hand, many cases, when it comes to our work conditions, our pay, the ability to find a new job, et cetera. So generally speaking, this is good news for workers, bad news on the inflation front, but good news for workers rolling into 2022.
Patrice, jump in. What do you want to know?
Absolutely, Dan. It's so interesting that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, they polled people who lost their jobs during the pandemic and asked them what it would take to get them back into the workforce. And you talked about bonuses and pay increases, but also flexibility. So how does a worker who wants more flexibility, maybe even a couple more dollars, how do they negotiate that with their employer?
Great question, Patrice. I'll give you a few tips so you can do it today with yours. So here we go. First of all, it's important that you and I know our market value, right? So understand, maybe some of us haven't looked for a job in a while. So now might be a great time to understand exactly what it is that the market is valuing this job at, right? So second thing is we want to focus on our contributions to the company. We don't want to just go into the boss and say, hey, inflation is, it cost me $20 extra to fill my gas tank today. I need a raise. That's probably a bad conversation. It's what do I contribute to this company's bottom line? Be open to some new responsibilities, maybe some new, a new role in the company, that sort of thing. But most importantly, Patrice and Dagan, one of the things I suggest is if you're going to have that talk, be prepared to walk, right? So you don't want to just call the bluff. If you're really going to have that conversation, be prepared to bail.
Should you have a job lined up before you have that conversation?
That's probably a good idea. So you certainly want to know that the market is at least available for your jobs, if not have one lined up.
Dan, what about the best cities to find a job in 2022?
No surprise here. We saw this survey recently. What we found is that the lowest unemployment rate, the West, the Midwest, South, they're the cities, they're the regions of the country that still dominate when it comes to low unemployment, job creation, that sort of thing. No surprise, the cities, the six in the top for unemployment were all in California, New York, New Jersey, or unfortunately, Detroit, Michigan. So we see Americans flocking still to those places, Dagan, where there's opportunity. And that's one of the great things about this country. One of the great things about our workers is that we are more mobile than a lot of other countries. So we see Americans flocking to those cities where have low unemployment, affordable housing, and saying goodbye to, unfortunately, cities that have really expensive housing or expensive taxes.
Right. There, on that list we were showing, San Francisco was number 3. I lived there for a year. I'd never moved back. And it was expensive then. And not only is it unsafe, it's even more exorbitant now. Real quick, Brandon, get in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could just touch a little bit more on inflation, Dan. The Penn Wharton budget model said inflation is eating into family budgets to the tune of about $3,500 per family. Yeah. So even these substantial pay increases may not be enough to cover that amount. How much leverage does that give to workers? And should they just be looking to change careers altogether if these wage increases aren't keeping up with inflation?
Yes. All yeses to that one, Brandon. So inflation's about 6.8%. Wages are up about 4.6%. You are spot on, my friend. Workers, on a real basis, we're losing ground when it comes to the cost of living. There's no question about that. So absolutely, yes to your point. It may be time to reassess, am I in the right job? Maybe am I in the right field? Maybe there's something else I can and should be doing to increase my take-home pay in light of the fact that we've got this inflation that doesn't seem to be so transitory, does it, Brandon?
No, at all. I think we've banned that word among many in the last year. Dan Ricardo, thank you so much. We'll be right back.